If you thought eggs were just a breakfast staple, think again. They're now a luxury item. Thanks to a wave of panic buying, egg prices have hit historic highs. But what's driving this crisis? Is it just supply and demand? Well, let's break down how panic buying pushes egg prices to historic highs and what it means for the months ahead. Lately, many Americans have gone into full-on survival mode, loading up on groceries, snagging appliances, and even upgrading their cars quickly before businesses crank up their prices. In just a few weeks, retailers, automakers, and other industries will be hit with steeper import costs, and you can bet those costs will get passed straight to consumers. Inflation isn't letting up anytime soon, and due to this, about a quarter of Americans are stocking up, and bulk buying has surged 10% in just a month, hitting record levels. The newly imposed tariffs aren't helping matters either. The details may be fuzzy, but one thing is crystal clear: prices on anything that isn't 100% made in the USA are about to go way up. And get this, even eggs aren't safe from all the chaos. Recently, egg prices have skyrocketed and everyone is feeling it. In January, a dozen grade A large eggs hit an average of $4.95, up from $4.15 in December. And that was just the beginning. According to the latest Consumer Price Index, egg prices have skyrocketed 53% compared to last year. Meanwhile, overall food prices only crept up by 2.5%, making eggs the unexpected target of inflation. Keeping eggs in stock has become a struggle for a lot of stores, with prices surging since November and following a massive 40% jump between 2020 and 2022. Retailers and officials are in panic as shortages grow, leaving millions of Americans hunting for affordable eggs and egg-based products. At Trader Joe's, shoppers are now limited to just one carton per day, with signs politely reminding them to follow the rule. The store says it's all about making sure more people can get their hands on eggs before the shelves are emptied. And the prices aren't smiling either. Redditors reported the Chicago Trader Joe's charging $7.99 for a dozen, while an 18-pack in Charlotte hit $9.99. Other big chains like Walmart, Aldi, Lidl, and Whole Foods have also jumped on the restriction bandwagon, capping purchases at 2 or 3 cartons per customer. Over at H Mart, things are even wilder. According to a Fox News report, eggs were selling for over $1 each. Target even put up a note saying, "We are currently experiencing high demand and supply shortages for eggs. We are actively seeking additional supply." And then there's Costco, where things have reached full-on chaos mode. Hundreds of shoppers rushed to hoard eggs, with viral videos showing carts stacked sky-high with cartons. In one clip, people were even fighting over eggs like it was Black Friday. Except instead of TVs and gaming consoles, it was just eggs. Costco's 24-pack of eggs were being sold for $7.53, but that didn't stop shoppers from scrambling to grab every last carton. For families who count on eggs for breakfast, it's been a real shell shock. Experts are even comparing this egg shortage to the great toilet paper panic of 2020 because, once again, fear is driving people to hoard. And it's not just grocery stores feeling the heat. Restaurants are taking a hit too. Waffle House, the king of diner breakfasts, just added a 50% surcharge on eggs across the board. That means their classic 2-egg breakfast with toast and a side now costs $7.75. They're hoping prices calm down soon, but at this point, no one really knows when the madness will end. So what's causing this egg apocalypse? Bird flu. Sure, inflation and the pandemic played a big part, but the real troublemaker here, bird flu. The H5N1 virus has been wreaking havoc since early 2022, turning into the biggest avian flu outbreak in US history. As of March 6, the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention reported that a staggering 166.4 million birds have been affected. More specifically, about 130 million of those were egg-laying hens, according to the USDA's Animal and Plant Health Inspection Service. Between November and January alone, the USDA confirmed that 23 million egg-laying hens were culled. That's nearly half of all bird flu losses for 2024. And thanks to strict safety rules, even if just one chicken in a flock tests positive, the entire flock has to be culled. That means fewer hens, fewer eggs, and unfortunately, that's exactly why prices keep climbing. Even with the egg crisis in full swing though, people just won't stop buying eggs, no matter how pricey they get. Demand is still sky high, and when supply can't keep up, prices naturally go through the roof. But here's the kicker: grocery stores actually changed how they price eggs long before this shortage hit, and now it's making things even worse. Back in the day, they'd sell eggs super cheap, sometimes even for less than they paid just to get people through the doors. The idea was simple: hook shoppers with bargain eggs, then watch them fill their carts with everything else. But now, that game plan is toast. If stores price eggs too low, they'll disappear very quickly, leaving frustrated customers staring at empty shelves. Let's be real, no one likes leaving a grocery store empty-handed, so to avoid running out too fast, retailers are keeping prices high and hoping for the best. And all this has even got the White House weighing in on the bigger picture, and according to Press Secretary Karoline Leavitt, it's not just eggs, bacon, and gas that are skyrocketing. She points the finger at inflationary policies from the last administration for making everyday expenses sting. Meanwhile, the bird flu outbreak is far from over. The CDC reports that a whopping 145 million birds across all 50 states have been affected. With all these shortages, Americans aren't just sitting back and hoping for the best, they're stocking up, making big purchases now and getting ready for what's next. And they're not just grabbing extra eggs, they're hoarding everything: appliances, food, clothing, you name it. This whole situation, whether it's eggs, gaming consoles, or even skincare, follows the same pattern: shortages, panic, and sky-high prices. It started with bird flu wiping out millions of egg-laying hens, leading to supply chain chaos and price hikes. That in turn triggered panic buying, with people rushing to stock up before prices got even worse. Now we're seeing the same mentality spill over into electronics, appliances, and even sneakers. People are hoarding before anticipated tariff-driven increases hit. The irony, the panic itself is making everything worse. Retailers are reacting exactly how they did with eggs, limiting purchases, raising prices, and struggling to keep up with demand. But this is just making things worse. The more people rush to stock up, the faster prices rise and the longer shortages last. So how bad could things get? Well, industry experts predict household appliances could jump 20% in 2025. That means a $40 toaster could cost $48. And if you've been eyeing a $400 coffee machine, you better grab it now before it hits $480. Gamers, it's about to get rough. Thanks to tariffs on Chinese imports, prices are expected to jump by 40%. That's $246 more per console, 30% more for monitors, and $357 extra for laptops. And it's not just tech. Even toys, clothes, beauty products are not left out. All these are already flying off shelves. Economists predict restocking could take months, meaning the panic buying cycle will keep spinning. And with price hikes coming for food, appliances, and even beauty products, people will only double down on hoarding, just like what happened with toilet paper in 2020. So what's next? Well, if you were hoping for a quick fix, don't count on it. Supply chain expert Stephen Tomovsky says this shortage isn't just a blip, it could drag on for a while. The egg crisis is still scrambling a lot of farmers' nerves, and according to Emily Metz, president of the American Egg Board, the bird flu outbreak has been pretty brutal. These farmers rely on their flocks to make a living, and with supply running low while demand stays high, prices are naturally skyrocketing. Every grocery store sets its own prices, but when wholesale costs go up, you better believe consumers are going to feel every bit of it. That said, some reports are making this sound way worse than it actually is. Sure, egg prices are climbing and bird flu is messing up supply chains, but the idea that the government is suddenly hiding information, that's a tad too dramatic. The USDA and CDC are still giving people regular updates, and while restocking egg-laying hens isn't an overnight process, it's not like we're heading for some apocalyptic food collapse. The bottom line, stay informed, but don't buy into the panic. That's all for this video. What do you think? Let us know in the comments section and enjoy our other videos.